Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today I am here to discuss something kind of serious. You see, it has come to my attention that some of you out there do not consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie. We can't have that. So I am here to convince you, to explain to you why Die Hard, for once and for all, is in fact a Christmas movie, and a badass one at that. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so Die Hard, Christmas movie, not a Christmas movie. Every year around this time, this debate comes out. Well, for people like me, this is not a debate at all. And I am going to come here with some facts, some stats, some quotes, everything I need to try to convince you to see it my way, to come over to the dark side and understand that this is, in fact, a great Christmas movie that carries Christmas themes throughout. So Die Hard. Now, this is all fun for sure. You can think what you want. You know, there are two types of people. There are people that believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and then there's the people who are wrong. But you're free to be wrong. There's no problem with that. So when I got into really doing it, I had this discussion with my man Ken over at Mid-Level Media on his live stream the other night. He's in the camp. He doesn't think it's a Christmas movie. But to be fair, he said he needs to rewatch it. He hasn't watched it in quite some time. For me, it is required Christmas, like yearly viewing. It's going to get watched every year. But why is it a Christmas movie? And can you prove it? Well, yes, I can. And so I started doing some digging on exactly how to sway you to my side of thinking here. And I came across some great videos one way or the other on YouTube, some discussions out there. But I came across one, and I kind of went and I did these facts and figures for myself and popped this movie in. Now, I know it like the back of my hand, but I thought this is a good way to break it down. I believe it's Fandom Entertainment. They had a good way of like kind of breaking it down, and I went back and I fact checked them myself. But they kind of break it down to how many Christmas trees are in the movie, how many times is there Christmas carols in the movie, how many, uses of the word Christmas, other Christmas references, and like how many like individual different times you see different Christmas decorations in the movie. So not like the same ones over and over again, but how many times do you see different ones? And their total in Die Hard is they went through and counted, and you see 19 different and distinct Christmas trees in Die Hard. Now, for a little bit of reference, we're going to compare how many, with Home Alone. I went and double checked this. Now, they also used Miracle on 34th Street. I didn't have time to go double check that. But in Home Alone, they said that there are 7 different individual Christmas trees. Now, when I went and counted this myself, I actually only found 6. So it's possible I could have missed one, but I found 6. In Die Hard, there are 19. They said there are 19. I did find 19. I actually thought I found a 20th, but it may be the same one twice from a different camera angle. So let's go with 19, and I'm going to go with my count for Home Alone is 6, because I can't verify a 7th. So that's a lot of different Christmas trees. So you're comparing Christmas tree to Christmas tree. Die Hard kicks Home Alone's butt. And then individual Christmas decoration. Now, this is a little harder because I'll just go ahead and tell you, they had 15 individual different shots of Christmas decorations for Die Hard and 29 for Home Alone. That's very hard to count. You keep going back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to say it's more of a range in Die Hard of somewhere between 15 and 20. Because sometimes different camera angles, you might see different stuff that you didn't see before. And what you consider decorations may be different. So I'm going to say it's between 15 and 20. With Home Alone, they came up with 29. And again, it depends on how you're counting it and what you're looking at. Like if you wanted to count each little individual ornament, which is part of what they did that he puts down as a booby trap, then that's a lot different. So they got 29. I'm just going to err with that. I'm going to say it's probably somewhere between 25 and 35 because it's just hard to count it. So you're going to give the check mark to Home Alone in that. Christmas carols. So this is Christmas songs on the soundtrack, Christmas carols that are being hummed, are whistled, are sang by characters in the movie. They came up with 12 for Die Hard. I'm going to go along with that because if you count Hans Gruber whistling, it's somewhere in the 12 to 15 range, and people humming along like I want to say Carl Winslow when he is in the store and he's getting Twinkies. He is humming, Christmas music. He's also then singing Christmas music as he walks out to the car. So if you count all this stuff, you're in the 12 to 15 range there. Whereas in Home Alone, they really only have the soundtrack, and the soundtrack has about 7 songs, like the soundtrack, and then the score music playing Christmas music. If you count all of that, you're going to get about 7. So there's way more Christmas music in Die Hard than there is in Home Alone. And then uses of the word Christmas, where they work Christmas into the conversation, or Christmas is pertinent to the conversation. You're going to get a lot more in Die Hard, believe it or not, than you are in Home Alone.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas Eve.
Any Christmas music?
Merry Christmas.
I didn't realize they celebrated Christmas in Japan.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Christmas Eve.
'Twas the night before Christmas.
It's Christmas, Theo.
It's Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, no doubt.
This is their idea of Christmas. I gotta be here for New Year.
You're making me feel like Ebenezer Scrooge.
No snooping around the house looking for presents. We'll see what Santa and Mommy can do.
Ho, ho, ho.
So in Home Alone, you're only going to get their count was 7, and depending on how you count it, it's between 6 and 8. The references. So I'm just going to go with 7 because that's in the middle. With Die Hard, they came up with 13. Now I tried to go through and count it. I definitely got 13 on the first go through. And the second time I went through there, I got 15. And honestly, I can't remember if I accidentally counted something twice. So we'll just go with 13. Either way, you're around double the amount of the word Christmas used in Die Hard that you are in Home Alone. So you're talking about Christmas. Christmas is in the conversation a whole lot more. And then there's parts in Die Hard where they're expounding on that. They're not talking about Christmas anymore, or they're not saying the word Christmas anymore. But when the guy is talking about some brie, some mulled wine, by the fire, all this stuff, and Holly, who, by the way, they changed Holly's name to Holly because this was set in Christmas. Her name, I believe, originally was they say it's like Stephanie or something like that. The writer said they actually changed her name to Holly because of the Christmas. So you got to think about that. You changed her name to Holly Gennaro, Holly McClane, because it was Christmas. So, but they continue talking, and she's like, Rudolph, Frosty, Santa Claus, all this kind of stuff. So she's not actually saying Christmas anymore, but she's talking about Christmas. And so that increases it more. So if you go to Christmas references that are outside of the moment where they say Christmas. You're going to get about 5 of those on Die Hard and about 10 of those on Home Alone. So it seems like there's more in Home Alone, but like I said, you're continuing a conversation for a long time in Die Hard that only gets to count as one reference. So there's actually a lot more discussion about things at Christmas time and stuff like that that continues on, but it doesn't matter if they talk about it for 1 minute or 10 seconds, it still just counts as one. So there's actually more conversation about that. And then you go and you start thinking about, okay, people say, well, Die Hard could take place at any time. So could Home Alone. Home Alone, which is considered a quintessential top 10 Christmas movie, it could take place at any time. Part 1 and Part 2, they could be going on any family vacation and the kid gets left at home. It doesn't have to be Christmas at all. There's no reason for it to be Christmas. Whereas Die Hard, people say, well, that could take place at any time. I don't know. Could it? Because John McClane has been living in New York and his family's been in LA for 6 months and he's not come out there to visit them because he's working. He's only coming out there to visit them because he has time off for Christmas and to spend Christmas with his family and try to reunite his family at Christmas. So he didn't do it at any other time because he didn't get the time off and all that stuff. There wasn't a big event for him to do it. It took Christmas for him to do it. He brings Christmas presents with him. He goes to a Christmas party, right? And the Christmas party becomes pertinent to the heist. They need the building to be empty of people except for those at this Christmas party. Now, when is it going to be? You could say, well, it could happen at any time. Well, is it going to be empty of people at any other night than Christmas Eve, except for the Christmas party? So the rest of the time, the building would be populated with other people, right? And there'd be a lot of people moving about outside, except for Christmas Eve. So it needs to be on Christmas Eve. And the whole thing takes place on Christmas Eve. Whereas, like Home Alone, for instance, you know, it builds up to Christmas, but it doesn't take place just on Christmas. So the whole thing of Die Hard takes place on Christmas. And you can argue that the bad guys plan the heist then, and only then, because that is when the building will be empty except for the people they need to be there. So if not, they would have to deal with people on all these other floors of this building. But now, because of Christmas, the building is abandoned except for those who are at one spot, the Christmas party. So it's very pertinent to that. They also need the FBI. They need the power to be cut and all that kind of stuff. So like that kind of thing all plays into it. And they need a kind of a getaway cover up. All that stuff plays better at Christmas when when people are more distracted by other things. So I could say it'd be easy for Kevin's family to have just left him at any point in time at Home Alone for any vacation. It didn't need to be Christmas. They're going to Paris. What does that have to do with Christmas? It's just they're going on a vacation at Christmas. It could be any time. So, and people can break into your house at any time. They're not breaking in to steal Christmas presents. They're breaking into, it's the silver tuna, Marv. He's talking about silver, stocks, bonds, like all kinds of stuff. He's not talking about Christmas presents that they're looking to steal. So, in that way, to me, it is way more pertinent that, it's Christmas time in Die Hard. Of course, they play Christmas music all the time, like I talked about, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they even do the close-up shot. He tapes the Merry Christmas tape to his back. That's what he uses to hold the gun. And they do that in, that tight shot. So, and now I have a machine gun, ho, 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 with the Santa Claus hat. Like, a lot of it is very pertinent. There's a lot of Merry Christmas wishing going on back and forth. They do a mock snow, like magical snow at the end with all the white paper falling down because it's not going to snow in LA. the same as it's snowing Christmas morning in Home Alone. So you have all those things. And if that's not enough, outside of Bruce Willis himself, who falls on the side of saying he don't really think it's a Christmas movie, everyone else connected to the movie and other people out there in the industry do. Like Edward Norton was on with Rich Eisen, and he was emphatic about Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
Do you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie? Would you say that is a Christmas movie, Edward Norton?
Emphatically, yes.
So, you know, if Edward Norton, accomplished actor, he's like, oh yeah, it's 100% a Christmas movie, unquestionably. And that's great to get an outside opinion, but how about the people who are in the movie or the people who made the movie? So one of the FBI guys, agent, no relation, is Robert Davi from Goonies, done tons of stuff. Every year at Christmas, he retweets himself holding a sign that says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And this year is no different. He put it out here just the other day. 100% believes it's a Christmas movie. Okay, so you've got actors divided on the thing. What about the people who wrote and directed the movie? Now, these are the people who created the story. Well, John McTiernan, who directed the movie, and just 3 years ago did an interview telling everyone that Die Hard has, in fact, become a Christmas movie. He said they didn't initially set out for it to be that way, but then he watched the part of It's a Wonderful Life where we see what happens if George is never born and all this stuff. And he's like, all of these kind of things let you know what happens if power goes unchecked. Like in the case of It's a Wonderful Life, it's Harry Potter. It's Mr. Potter. So you need that person, you need the good people to check that power. And he's like, the best way to tell that is through a Christmas movie.
And in fact, everybody, as they came to work on the movie, began to get, as I said, this idea of this movie's an escapee. And there was a joy in it. Because we were, all with scratches on the side of the king's tomb, and we had changed the content. And that is how Die Hard became it. We hadn't intended it to be a Christmas movie, but the joy that came from it is what turned it into a Christmas movie.
So you have John McTiernan, the director himself, telling you this is a Christmas movie. It was so joyful, it became that, and they put more and more stuff in it as they realized it as they were making the movie. If that's not enough, you have DeSouza, who who wrote the movie. You have the actual writer, the screenplay writer of the movie, the last couple of years tweeting out Exhibit A, B, C. He's explaining to you and backing it up with evidence why it is a Christmas movie. Now you have the guy who wrote it telling you it's a Christmas movie, and you have the guy who directed it telling you it became a Christmas movie, and they fed into it because of how it was going. They put more and more Christmas stuff in it because he realized it was a Christmas movie, and the best way to tell his story was with Christmas as the background. So I don't know how you argue with the writer and the director telling you, yes, it's a Christmas movie. But honestly, what it comes down to at the end is, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? If you put it in and it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie to you, now it's definitely you could argue, I don't argue this, but you could argue it's a non-traditional Christmas movie. You could put it in that category. And I've got a list coming of non-traditional Christmas movies that give me the Christmas spirit, the Christmas vibes that you don't think of as Christmas movies. I'm going to do that list. But I will only talk about this at the beginning because this movie is a traditional Christmas movie to me now. So I love this movie. Whether you love it as a Christmas movie or not is irrelevant. It is one of the best action films ever made. It is an action Christmas movie. And while we're on the subject Violent Night is not a horror movie. I've had a lot of people discussing that. Violent Night that just came out a couple years ago with David Harbour as Santa Claus. The elevator pitch, the pitch to that movie literally was Die Hard with Santa Claus. And they lean into that so much. Now, they sprinkle some Home Alone and some Christmas Vacation in there a little bit too. But they lean into it being Die Hard so much that he pulls Die Hard out of his Christmas sack and like hits the guy with it and make a point of saying that. So they know what it is, but that's not a horror. It's got violence, but it's not a horror. If that's a horror, this is horror. Every action movie with a lot of violence is a horror. So just a little aside there. But I love this movie. Movies are all about vibes and how they make you feel to me. There's so much nostalgia in this movie to me, watching it every year. And I will say that if you go to the YouTube analytics, if you go television analytics, Die Hard is searched and watched between like 400 and 800% increase over the rest of the time of year between December 1st and December 31st. So at large, people are looking this movie up more at Christmas time. Do with that what you will. I love this movie. How it makes you feel is the most important. If you can watch and get a little Christmas vibes from it, I'm all for that. Christmas is my favorite time of year. Christmas, Halloween. I just love this time of year. And it's all about the vibes. I'm so much about the vibes. This gives me fun, good, nostalgic vibes with Christmas sprinkled over the top of it. That makes it a Christmas movie to me. And maybe after all this, you'll think it's a Christmas movie too if you didn't already. And if you did believe it was a Christmas movie already, now you have a lot to back up your argument. But enjoy the movie, enjoy the holidays, and just have fun with it. That's what I want to do here, is have fun with the video. If you've had fun, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It's a great Christmas present to me because it gets us out there to more and more people. And if you want to help support the channel, you can join below at my Patreon link or right here on YouTube. The links for both are below. If you'd like to, you're going to get your name in lights, Christmas lights here. You're going to get behind the scenes videos, all that kind of stuff. And it means so much to me. And if you want to pick up Die Hard or any of the movies I talk about, or check out my targets list, Chase's targets list, I put the links below to Amazon. And if you click those and you go and you purchase anything while you're there, it helps out the channel too. And I really do appreciate it. I know there's a lot of shopping, a lot of things to spend money on this time of year. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the support. And Merry Christmas and yippee-ki-yay. Until next time, this is Chase with AV Pop Culture saying, be kind, rewind like always, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.